Hello, everyone, and welcome to the PPL today. It's going to be day number 2 of week number 2. We're going to be going into North America and seeing what these teams have to offer. My name is Gormizer, and joining me on the desk, as always, is Rain Day and Pretty Hair. And, today we have some pretty, actually, eventful matches. The first one is one that we've seen, a tale as old as time, I think it comes up. You have G2 versus Envy, but I feel like Envy versus Renegades is just as up there.
Envy are a great team. This matchup should be exciting. I think Envy and Renegades, honestly, they're a pair with a lot of history. These two teams have battled for the same position for a long time. Envy historically have come on top with that. And I think in general, it's up for Renegades to try to prove themselves into that second position, not Envy to prove themselves that they're better than Renegades.
Right, they've certainly developed to become the underdog in this matchup. There was a time where everyone was just fighting to catch up with which was then
G2,
SK and G2. SK used to be at the top. It wasn't too long ago, right? It was just a year ago, the fall split, or the first real split of the PPL last fall. And SK was the #1 seed.
Well, I've kind of got to wonder for this one. I mean, Renegades and Envy both looking really good, but Renegades are trying to overcome them. Do you think that when it comes to drafting, it's really kind of like the Rock Monkey versus Loki? Do you think Androx is going to play a big role? Are those champions going to be a little bit higher? Or do you think that they might not matter as much as, say, like the frontline or the supports?
I think whenever you see Renegades, especially on Stone Keep, you see an Androxus ban, even before this meta, because Loki would play it no matter what.
And Serpent as well.
Even more than Mutu. I think he really is the Androxus, for me, kind of champion player matchup. I think Rock Monkey needs his bow characters too. Shaolin falling out of the meta has put him in a weird spot because the Zen is something that he's comfortable with, but it's like in that 5th tier Talus area, but he loves the Cassie. So if we see Cassie bans like we're seeing in Europe, where does Rock go? I think there is a position here Renegades can take, which is just try to make Rock Monkey uncomfortable.
He'll probably head to Leon. I think that's what Envy, they sort of championed that meta with the Willows and the Leons coming through in the Summerland. But if it is Serpent, if it is Stonekeep, I expect to see Androxus for sure.
Yeah, and remember, with that Leon, Tolki's really the one who flexes onto that most of the time. Rock still wants his bow character, so that's champion pool conversations for him.
Well, we always end up shining a lot of light. I think these two players will make a big difference, but like you said, it's going to be kind of champion-specific. But the other ones that always kind of get unsung, we'd mention them when the draft comes through, but it's always going to be the front lines. Rubu, when it comes down to Envy, is phenomenal. He makes differences in their play, and the same thing can be said for ClickU. Do you think that things like Fernando, the Ashe actually even for Renegades, is going to be highly contested, or that Envy might just brush it off?
I think this is where we see, and I don't know how you feel about this, but I think Ashe has come back into the meta, and I think it's come back in a way where only a few people know how to pilot her correctly. She still doesn't have the autopilot on, so unless you have the manual experience, you won't be able to play her. Rubu and ClickU both have Ashe in their pocket, and so that's the thing. It just expands their pool, which is maybe what I'm thinking. We may not see a lot of frontline bans. Or we may. I don't know how they're going to approach it. What are your thoughts?
I don't know about the bans, but in terms of just the overall pool, Kliku's matching everything that Envy's throwing out, right? If the pool gets bigger for Rubu, it also gets bigger for Kliku. That's considering Ashe. That's considering Ruckus as well. Those are the big two that I think are slightly more fringe pick in terms of the front line that I think both Renegades and Envy can answer with. And that's why this set's going to be exciting, right? Because no one has anything as an upper hand over the other.
You know, you had mentioned historically, this is always an Envy set. They always go against each other, but it has always been a 3-0. It's been close, but it's always ended up being a 3-0. Do you think that today is the day this changes, or is this the day that Envy just continue on their streak?
So here's my worry, because I think Envy are going to take this. I think Renegades are in the best position ever to be able to usurp them. I think Moonchopper, when they were first playing in the season of last split, when he kind of got injected into that team in the middle of it, wasn't able to really fully get going. They didn't have any momentum to build off of. And now that they do, I think that they're in a great spot talent-wise to take Envy. I just think Envy in a draft-wise, in terms of an experience-wise, all the LAN experience they've been getting, and the fact that they know this means so much for HRX, I think they're going to be treating this like an actual final, like a LAN. I do not expect them to get caught off guard here.
Yeah, Renegades is definitely a team that whenever you sleep on them, you lose to them, right? But if you are prepared, you come in, the teams that should beat them normally do beat them.
Right.
It's never super easy. It's never just rolling over. The Renegades are a damn good team, but I think in terms of confidence as well as Envy, they always earn their spots at LAN, and that's a conversation we talk about with the Renegades, is that they're still relatively new. They still haven't really earned anything for themselves to feel prideful about, I think, going up against Envy's and G2s.
Right.
It's just one of those things. This is definitely a highly anticipated match, but historically, it really shouldn't be. It's just because of the rise of Renegades, I'd say, over the past couple weeks.
Totally.
But luckily for both of them, they've only had one team to prepare for so far this week. It's not a doubleheader for either side, because the other match is going to be SK versus Splice. And this one's actually really important. for either side. Whoever
Oh,
gets
man.
a win, it's going to feel a lot better.
I'm really glad that they were able to just have this game where they could at least both prepare against one another, not get caught off guard like I think SK was against the Renegades last time when they had to go against G2. They had this demoralizing loss. The Renegades just swept through like, oh, this isn't SK. This isn't even a problem. SK and Splice are teams that need something. They need a win. Both of them. Both of these rosters are just kind of morale-less. They need a morale boost literally, and not just in game. They actually have to find some momentum here. Otherwise, what is this season going to mean for them? Sadly, it just started, but they are running out of time.
Yeah, and these are the matchups that you have to win to have, even if any of these teams is going to make a Cinderella run at that, higher spot in the PPL to make some type of upset happen. You have to get the win over each other here. This is very important for either of them.
You had mentioned them playing against G2 and being able to watch that performance. It was something that it started out phenomenal. It looked amazing from SK.
Right.
And then by the end of the set, you forgot game one was so good. You forget they won a game in the set because it just turned so in favor of G2. Is this something that is SK-centric? Is this something they did wrong? Or was that just G2 being so much stronger?
I think it was G2's strength and confidence. Sometimes when you do the right thing, you don't get the feedback immediately. And thus, you start to question yourself if you don't have the confidence innately. I think that happens all the time. And as Paladins esports, it's no different. You could be making the right decision draft-wise and play-wise, but it may end you up in a 3-1. But you got to stick it out. You got to trust that it will work out in the end now that you're at late game. And I think we're missing that with SK. We've obviously missed that with Splice. So who's going to get it between the both of them?
And, Splice go into this with a more consistent roster. SK make their little tiny adjustments here or there. They make a lot of role swaps, right? Because they haven't changed the roster a lot. This is the first time we're starting to see some more major roster changes from SK. They've tried just about every which combination of Wi-Fi on support versus the front line, Bitey on damage versus front lines. They've tried a lot of stuff. So finding and specializing in those roles sooner rather than later is definitely always something that I prescribe.
And that kind of swap actually leads us to something we talked about on Esports Weekly. I don't think we got to dive as deep as we had wanted to, but looking at captains, I mean, Bitey was one of the ones under kind of delegation at that point, where it's just, is it going up the chain? Is it somewhere higher up that is the problem? Or is it because they spent so much time changing their roles or trying out new things that just haven't worked?
Bring up a good point, Gore. I think the bigger question for Bitey is he's a master of all trades, but a jack of all trades, but when is he going to master one? I think it's his biggest strength, his flexibility, but I also think it's his biggest weakness. We all know Bitey. He's very particular. He absolutely loves diving deep into things. If there was a Dungeons and Dragons kind of opportunity to play, you feel like Bitey would be the one leading the charge. And I think that limits him because all these guys like ClickU and Rubu, what have they done? They've mastered the frontline class. They've just taken it upon themselves. I think if Bitey just chooses one to stick with for SK, maybe a lesser kind of medium because he can't give them that flexibility, but the long term I think puts them in the contention for where we see G2 now.
Well, look back a year ago when SK was at their most successful, and the interviews that we got at that event was Bitey saying that I have taken a bit of a step back in the draft. I'm not really conducting things. I give my input because I literally play everything, but it's mostly Wi-Fi and Vex that do the drafting for us.
Yep.
And then I just sort of fill in, I do my job, and I make my calls.
Yeah.
So far, SK has a lot of, well, not a lot of roster swaps, but a lot of changes like you had mentioned, Nick, and Splice on the other side, not so much. They've actually been able to find themselves a solidified roster. It took a little while to get there. Going into the summer, things were changing, and then finally they got one. And towards the end of the summer, things started to look like they were coming together for them. They were the team that notably made Victor kind of shine a little bit brighter in my eyes.
That's right.
Do you think that their success there is going to help translate into the fall split? The fact that they've stuck together, is that going to make a big difference here?
I hope so, because I think they're all really talented players. In terms of like the Victor and the champion thing, it's sort of that same conversation we just had about ClickU and Rubu. I think everything that they bring out that's kind of like, not corny, but just a little bit more fringe is going to be able to be matched by SK, right? Bitey has no problems running Victor.
I think the biggest thing about Splice and them sticking with this roster is they got rid of the old guard that was kind of not on the way down, but let's just say Rovnik and El Zulu had been there. They'd done that. They've been to our lands. Splice all have need to grind for something. All of those 5 players are on the same page. If we haven't earned anything yet, and that means I think they're going to keep growing. And so I'm excited for Splice, and I think it's going to be a tough matchup. Dear God, just from a personal standpoint, I hope this goes to SK. Nothing against Splice, but if it doesn't go to SK, I'm worried about the meltdowns.
True.
That's truly what I'm worried about. I think Splice can weather this loss a little bit better than SK can, morale-wise.
Well, at the end of the day, one of these teams does have to win. I think that's actually going to be the closer set of the day, although Envy versus Renegades is definitely one to keep your eyes on. But we do have an interview with Viral to go ahead and jump to as we do get ready to actually jump into set number 1. So we'll leave you with the interview, and then we'll see you in just a bit.
Hello, everybody. Welcome. Untitled Chapter here, and I've got RNG Viral, the bearded lumberjack, looking sexy, my dude. What's the story, man? How long we let that thing grow out?
Let's give it like a end of the season.
End of the season. Could we copy that and like actually hold you to that word?
Yeah.
All right, bet. There it is. Maybe I'll have to start growing mine back out. We'll just we'll grow one together. So, okay, let's just talk about what happened last week first and foremost before you guys go up against Envy. Able to have a very good showing in the first week. Is this a very new, reformed RNG? Because this is looking like the most synergistic we've ever seen you guys play together so far.
Yeah, over time, we just kind of refined our skills and just played more as a team now. And we're comfortable playing with each other more. So, I think we got way better than last season.
Good. And going into that, you talk about this matchup versus Envy coming up. This has traditionally been nearly a coin flip between the two of you guys. Long sets, usually in the split, it goes half and half. Haven't really had the same kind of a success against them in LAN environments specifically. But in this online phase, early on in the fall split, are you guys feeling like you could finally take that step to be the number 2 team in NA?
Yeah, definitely. 100%.
Is there anything in specific that has changed? Is it just familiarity against them or just in your own skin?
It's more, I want to say more familiarity. It's just they have like a different play style and you just kind of have to adapt to it. They're more very team oriented. You never really see anybody kind of going off on their own. It's very team oriented, and you just have to keep that in mind.
So would you say that in general with this newest patch, is this more of a Renegades friendly patch than an Envy patch? When you look at characters like Androxus coming back into the thick of things, like, do you guys feel like you have an edge, or is it still pretty neck and neck?
I would say neck and neck. I think this patch is good for every team.
That's good. At least for our standpoint, maybe you were wishing it was more in your favor, but I'm definitely excited to go into this matchup versus Envy. Of course, is the perennial matchup that we've seen in North America lately. Are we expect to see you tossing any 360 snake tosses by chance?
Oh, of course. I gotta get my style points in, man.
Well, good to have you, Viral. Good luck in the games, man. Thanks for joining us. I hope you have a good one.
Thank you.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, but I have one question before we get into it. My name's Renee, that's pretty hair. And Nick, how can you watch me dance like that and have no face
Dance
reaction?
like what?
I can't show you. That's what I'm saying. How do you do it,
Behind
though?
the curtain, everyone.
Behind it. All right.
Need to get your ticket.
Solid.
To come see the show himself.
Did I do
Forget
it?
about the esports.
Forget about it. We got a magic show here. Magic for humans, and the dove appear. Okay, no, not gonna happen.
I had you. I brought this.
that would have been
It pooped
good.
in my hand, but
That would have been good. Guys, you want to see this, but do you want to see it live? You want to actually see my dancing and not have to see what happens after the commercial? Then go to November 16th through 18th, High Res Expo at DreamHack Atlanta 2018, not 2019. These are for the 2018 show this year, highresexpo.com. We're super excited to have you for those who have already bought your tickets, but make sure you do so if you haven't gotten those yet because it'll be fun. Just like the day we have in the PPL, Renegades and Envy, Splice, and SK, we get to see 4 out of our 5 teams today, Nick. That's pretty exciting.
that's right. G2 Esports, the only team not participating, and it's funny to watch them. Obviously, this will start to shake out and be a little bit more accurate as all the games start to equalize in terms of who's played those 3 games. G2
Right.
sitting in the middle of the pack right now. We'll have to see where they end up shaking out. We've got Renegades, Envy first, Splice, SK after that.
Well, I'm excited to see the variation in drafting. We've talked about some of these champion pools overlapping between ClickU and Rubu. We've talked about Rock Monkey and the Shaolin going completely out of the meta and the Cassie being relatively prioritized, at least if you translate that across the pond from Europe. But that is a big caveat because not all things translate across the pond from Europe. We've seen a lot of picks not relate there. Ying, one thing that has really been still very powerful in Europe, the Life Exchange. Bird runs it, Jera runs it. We haven't really seen anyone play it here. Rock Monkey still owes us a Ying. Do you think today's the day?
I wouldn't hold my breath.
I wouldn't
to
either.
be honest. Tyra as well, another pick that really hasn't hopped over, translated very well.
That's true.
Hasn't exactly blown anyone's socks off, at least here on the casting team over in Europe either. Phoenix looked pretty good on it, but he also looked damn good on Ashe, and that's one thing we talked about on the desk that we definitely are expecting to see.
Yeah. And Nara. Here, it's important because
that's a refreshing change of pace.
Yeah, I mean the ban here is something that I'm surprised a lot of teams didn't do. With the Khan ban, the Inara ban, you're really dealing with the Torvald and then the Makoa. And Envy are setting up to be allowed to take the Makoa here, and this is something that Rubu has shown he knows how to pilot very, very well. But it's going to be the Drogos, and maybe it was a bait, Nick. Maybe you say take the Makoa so we can get the Drogos.
And Nara Vivian is not; those are not two vanilla bans, and that just makes me feel like Renegades did their homework, that they've got a plan for today. They know what they want, and they know how they're going to do it. This is Envy's map pick, for those of you that are wondering.
But that's how you spice it up, because Envy do not
100%.
know that the Vivian is going to get banned, right? So they may not think that either Drogos is available, or they may not know that they're going to have to deal with the Makoa. They could have expected it, but I don't know. North American PGS did show us a little bit of a glimpse of the value of Vivian. I don't think this ban is just a fake ban like a Sky.
Yeah.
I think there is some credence to
There
it.
is. I think you're right. I mean, Bugsy played it already. I mean, there's been a lot of top tier players that played Vivian already. She's got a place. Absolutely. Just about everyone does so far. And the Renegades, if they come in here and do the same old, they're not going to win. They're just not going to win this matchup. They've been trying to do the same old. And Envy have shown that they are better at that. Renegades have their plan in place. They're getting a damn good draft so far.
Right.
Envy are getting close to one of those teams that no matter what they get, it feels like they got everything
they got what
want.
they wanted. And I think that's it. You know, they're so simple, and this is what I like about Rock. He's going to get your Kinessa if you have it. He's going to get your Strix if you have it. He'll get your Cassie if you don't ban it, and they have the ability to pick it and not screw their draft over. You know, he'll play Androxus if it's available, but if it's map-specific better for Kinessa, he'll go there, and he's going to give you a performance that I think comes closest to somebody trying to emulate what Bugsy puts together. I think he is clearly one of the top tier, touted as one of the better players in the world in the beginning or middle of this year. See if he can hold that standard as he faces off against the Strix on the side of Renegades, which one would assume is either Loki or Moonchopper. Who do you got your money on?
For playing Strix, probably Loki.
I would say it's Loki too. But I've known Moonchopper to do some interesting
Chopper's
things.
not exactly
He's pretty flexible.
jumping out at me as a Cassie either.
But
Either
you're
way,
right. You're right.
it is a good. It just feels like a really good draft for both sides, I gotta say. And those are the most fun games end up to be watching when there's no lopsidedness, there's no holes that are easily exploited.
Right.
I think if everyone just plays their game, this is going to be an extremely execution-based matchup.
Wow. Are we really seeing No Solar Blessing? Are we seeing Viral bringing Cherish back? Or I guess two, the competitive scene? Because it's pretty much been all Solar Blessing. And I think that's what it is.
We got Cherish during Summerland when Solar Blessing was banned.
Yeah.
So there's that.
But they had said I'd play Solar Blessing if it was available.
And she was
so.
still, she was still highly picked, highly played. So there's
Oh,
something there.
mama.
Shell spin. Random noob. Trying to give Kliku the hands out of the gate. Not again.
I don't mind it. I don't mind it. Very excited to see Random Noob get that blaster pressure on. And this Pyre Strike now less used defensively, which we've seen it, for healing, now going to be something that is a threat offensively. That stun is something you have to watch. Viral, a little bit of a right click there, goes awry. This time, though, Random Noob's pressure just overcomes the rest of Renegades, and Envy look like they're ready to clean sweep this one.
It's funny to watch these PPL games after watching, like, 3 hours of PGS. They're so calculated. Everyone is at their spot, doing their thing. They take a little bit of damage. They get back to plan B, heal up, and it's just that slight amount of pressure, a small little stress fracture here or there in the game plan.
Oh, yeah.
And then a good team like Envy is just able to crack that wide open.
Well, I mean, you know, there was a quote in a book I was reading this morning, and the quote was referring to a general-type character who was known for, when you're down, don't let you get back up, break your kneecaps so that the enemy bends their head to you to eventually chop their head off, right? And I think the idea is that it kind of related to Envy and the way that they allow you, and Fnatic as well. You get a little mistake, one person drops low, and all of a sudden what seems like a pretty casual fight turns into just slaughter. It is over. They do not let you get up from that mistake, and then you have to deal with it for another round.
Are you trying to bring it back to Matt Damon as a samurai
Matt
leader,
Damon
chopping off people's heads as a samurai?
You know,
But you're right. That's that's these teams. That's all it comes down to. The little mistakes are the only mistakes that are being made at this level of play. That's the only advantage that you can scrape together. Random comes out for a Dragon Punch just to maybe get an alternative angle at the fight. You know, when you're flying out there with the Dragon Punch, you don't really have any intentions of actually landing.
it might have been, I think, just called off. I mean, that might have been
baby.
also what he saw, and that's oh my god, the damage! And Rubu is able to clean it up. I believe that was a Hexafire. I mean, this is what I'm saying. Renegades don't even know that ultimates are happening. Heck, we don't even know. We barely heard that thing. But all of a sudden, 2-0 Envy.
It's the first pick Drogoz. Very highly contested character on a lot of levels.
Yeah.
No Leon even looked at here. And Random Noob, he's been doing it with Drogoz for so long, on so many maps against so many teams. It's really him at this point. 23k damage, and 3,300 of that is that last fire spit that he hit. I mean, for crying out loud, Combustible is just so insane right now.
And, you know, it's really follow the scent. I mean, Combustible's been what it's been. It has not gained any more damage. Random Noob used to pick Fusillade no matter what, and then he kind of, I think, led the charge, especially in North America, of Fusillade being so valuable, and that eventually was nerfed. But follow the scent, man. That card, when it got introduced, and it got adjusted so that it gives you that 75%, the normalization of the anti-heal across some of these champions who have it, that was just so impactful. And it just allows Drogoz to do something that he's never been able to do before. Just apply anti-heal to 2 to 3 people at a time, all the time.
A little bit of a different approach here to the first fight from the Renegades. Makoa not really pressuring the dangerous stair side. He's more just trying to run it up mid, so to speak. Tolkki still doing his thing, just absorbing as much damage as possible, but it's the pick onto the support. No more sustain for the Renegades. And how can they stand up to this type of pressure after that?
Probably can't. I mean, Renegades at least get 46%, and I think that was the style. Just go there, let's get some comeback mechanic pressure, and then as they try to zone us, or at least let's keep 4 or 5 alive, right? Sacrifice the main tank for someone who's going to step on the point, and then we'll use ultimates to win the comeback mechanic fight. I like it. I think it's very smart from the Renegades. Both teams applying pressure when need be, using their resources that they have at their disposal, but Rock Monkey just uses the aim that he has at his disposal and cleans up Moonchopper like that. If he finds another one onto the Fury here, Viral trying to get close, but man, just barely getting into the Immortal.
There's the Immortal and the Ancient Rage to boot, so just so much from the front lines, and Random Noob will actually be brought down, but the big guns brought out.
Go for it.
Frontliners are under control as well. They both get behind cover. They get a good Inflame. They're getting some good healing as well. This is the fight for the Renegades to win, and they're struggling to eke it out.
Yeah, I mean, they did it the right way. I mean, I love the comeback mechanic style of let's get as much as we can, die off. Now we have 4 out of 5. They can't push us because we still have a Makoa, we still have a Strix. No one has gotten out of place except that one front line. And then we go ahead for the real fight that we're going to commit our ultimates to. It worked perfectly for Renegades. And now they're keeping it close here.
And I mean, it may have not even been that hard of a contest. You had Rock landing the big pick on a Viral in the back line. And we saw, you know, earlier Bagerwow on Strix was showing the consistency, but what Strix just will never be able to bring is that massive one-shot potential on the supports, on the backliners that Kinesa's got.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't even matter. We're not talking about casual here. We're talking about the best players in the world with their aim, and you almost have to count on the Eagle Eye Kinesa playing a factor in these games. And so, you're right, Strix just will never be able to do that. What hopefully he can do is the team-wide reveal, a little bit of the support, maybe some burst from hitting that unauthorized use scope at times. You would hope maybe Roost would help to, in terms of the 1v1 battle, help to make sure he's 24, 30%. less damage so he can at least even it out. But Loki has a lot of work to do, that's for sure.
123 on the clock now. Flashbang, the only ultimate available for
Ooh, good shot.
the Renegades. It's not a super impactful one. It's one that's honestly kind of difficult to use at distance. It's really best used when people are getting up in your face and trying to pressure you out. You just flashbang their brains out and move on with your day.
Minute now, Loki's still looking. Rockets flying his way. Clips the side of Rubu, hits another one. Rubu getting low. That's going to take some attention from the healer now.
Boy.
Random Noob getting low, and now Toki getting low. I mean, you can't heal everybody all the time.
Every shot in that clip.
And they have to back up. That was beautiful. That was really Loki's pressure. He hits 3 different people, forces healing onto 3 separate teammates. And then as a result, Toki and the rest of Renegades, I mean, Envy, have to back up.
Chugging and plugging away. I mean, hitting that many shots in a row. Pretty crazy stuff there from Loki. Healing struggling to keep up on both sides. There's so many people that have good poke. Cassie's got good poke. Strix got good poke. Tinker and Barrick's got good poke. You've got Fireballs, you've got Makoa, you've got Ruckus Rockets, you've got Drogo Spits. I mean, it's all happening from distance in this matchup.
Yeah.
No one's really in each other's faces.
And I mean, these Pyre Strikes are kind of missing for me. They're clearing out some space. I think the best hope you can do is maybe isolate Tolkien either too forward or too far, or maybe just save it. You know, maybe just save it. I know that Moonchopper not worried about saving anything there. He finds Rubu, and this is another one. Hero finds Tolkien. Rock Monkey does take down the aggressive Fernando, but now there's 4 members of the Renegades alive and well, still a tank, and that tank is Makoa, and Rock has to back up. Will they use ultimates here?
Overtime is started here for the Renegades. They have to stay on the objective for the rest of this round.
Oh, what a hook.
Kuliku goes for a really deep hook onto the support. Dome Shield, will it force the Ancient Rage? Or the Renegades just willingly give it up? Happy that they got that much.
I mean, I don't know how I feel about it. I like that the Renegades is given. Rock Monkey, you could see lethal. Oh, don't you do it. Don't you? Okay. She didn't quite do it.
He's a good boy. He listened.
He's a good boy.
He didn't do it, but 70,000 damage, man.
And 1 as well.
Pumping it. Pumping it out.
Would you rather have 70,000 damage and be 1 and 2, or 48,000 damage and 7 and 1?
I want the frags.
Yeah, I think so.
Just a lot of burst damage. I mean, some of those are insta-gibs. You know, different styles, different strokes. Loki's certainly not doing a bad job.
It's almost like Loki is setting up a lot of kills, and Renegades with their draft with Moonchopper, obviously with Makoa, even with Furia and Fernando with the Scorch Fireball, they're able to clean up a lot of those. Whereas Envy, the Drogos is setting up a lot of these kills, just the extra damage. The Ruckus missile launcher is forcing people low, and then Rock is there to clean it up. So you just wonder if they can get Rock off the board.
Oh.
What will this do? Renegades seem in full control yet again with another Inflame from Viral.
And that's a fast-charging ultimate, so that's a good one to pop. Kliku has been flirting with the edge of the map this whole game. His shield goes up, but it gets instantly obliterated by the salvo. The Spit's going to connect onto Chopper as well.
No.
Chopper just gets melted. I've seen so much of that, Evan. Random Noob just fire-spitting somebody into the jaws of one of his other teammates.
Oh my god, the Immortal was just too early, wasn't it? I mean, that was just... Oh, man! He did it to him. You know that's a Twitter clip. Random Noob again. Don't make me keep casting over this man, killing you with Drogos.
Oh, my goodness. Just hits the read. He knew it, too. I think he knew it. He just sent that one little rocket just to be sure.
What?
If he's going to step to me, he's not going to like what he finds around this corner.
99% and counting for the Renegades, but boy, oh boy, do they have a tough task ahead of them. No ultimates to their name. They used it all. Envy here can hold and win the game.
Rock's going to pick 2 more up, moving himself to, what, 9-1 now? Rubu finds a double, and that will just about do it. Rock gets to the even 10-1. Tolkien's river dancing on the objective. It's all good for Envy. And we saw a lot of that. You know, Random Noob, he hits his fire spit and just knocks somebody into somebody else from Envy, whether it's Rubu. Most of the time it was Rock Monkey, though.
I mean, it's forcing cooldowns, too. I mean, Shell Spin is a valuable tool. It's a longer cooldown, and he forces that. And even if it's just like, Clicky's like, I survived. That didn't get me. It's like, well, it did get something that you kind of need as a frontliner. That's a lot of your pressure. That's a lot of your escape. And 1 and 5 on Makoa is not anybody's first pick type like performance. Right. And also Loki, not even close to being able to keep up with Rock Monkey. as far as the efficiency, no one got the killing blows. There was a lot of damage on both sides, but it was just about killing blows, and Knessa was more well-equipped to handle the pressure and still finish off kills.
I mean, the poke nature of it, you look at 5 and 2, right? This was the 3rd best, I believe, slash line on the squad, but the most damage. Same thing for Loki. He didn't have the best slash line, but he had the most damage. He was setting everything up. The difference was you had other members of Envy, whether it was Rubu or Random, following up, or Rock, excuse me.
Right, and Knessa, you know, it wasn't prioritized. It wasn't held against. I mean, they kind of called their bluff and said, all right, you're going to ban the Inara, you're going to ban the Vivian, you're going to ban all the Khan, the Torvald, then we're going to leave the snipers
open. Is Envy
open.
the team to ban Inara against, right? I could see, like, against Navi, banning Inara would maybe throw them off a little bit.
I think Envy and Tolki and any Stagala I feel dangerous around. I don't necessarily think that you don't give it a try. Maybe you work around the Willow, the Furia, try to match that. We've seen Elven Path and NIP and Bird. Those guys, drafting-wise, trying to just say, let's make sure we get 2 out of the 3 so that we can at least deal with one or have them on our side so where we feel like we can overcome one of the counters of the other. Right there, though, it's best of 5. Still plenty of time to play. It's not the PGS where these best of 3s can be over just like that. They still have a little bit of room to bounce back. And Serpent Beach is certainly a map where we see teams take it to the edge, you know, to the limit in terms of their performance.
They walk along the razor's edge.
They do.
Leon banned, Makoa gone, and it smells like Andro for one team or another.
Well, that's the real question here. Do you ban the Drogos? And they do. So it's interesting.
Now he's a little bit less valuable.
You know what? I slightly disagree because I think he's still going to be able to do what he's done best. I don't know if Andro got better because Drogos rose in the meta. Although you're right, in this matchup, Drogos means a lot for these teams. They win when they get the Dragon. But I think Andro's just a natural effectiveness has been increased, and this is a pretty good map for him too.
I think Drogos feels like a better ban to me than Vivian as well.
Yeah, I agree.
And we'll have to see if it's merited, right? It's
make the Andro be just as valuable as the Drogos.
I imagine it's Rock playing the Vivian if it gets through. And if Andro's going to be open, if he's likely to be picked, then you maybe don't feel the need to ban out Vivian as much.
I just don't know. And I see what they did, you know. I mean, Fernando Furia, that's not that impressive. Also, the Cherish, I mean, we have to talk about that. It just didn't work at all for Renegades, and we didn't see Furia have the same impact. So, notably, they don't value her. They let her go. Ashe taken here, but the Willow is another big thing that they let through, and that's just such a comfort pick for Random Noob.
Fernando Barrick is definitely
Khan.
a good takeaway. Khan 9th.
9th.
As well.
I mean, you could have Fernando Khan. You could have Barrick Khan, whatever you want.
Speaks to the value of the pick as well for the set in particular. Still need our supports, and it's going to be 360 Snake himself.
Do you worry about Barrick Ashe on the other team? Because I don't know if I look at that and I say, let's take Fernando and let's take Barrick to take it away from Envy. I don't think I think that.
I think I am for Barrick. I mean, Tolki just killed it on Barrick. Rubu, he has habitually top damage with that character. It's one that he's very, very, very comfortable with. And I think, I think it's a good takeaway. I think Ashe asks more of those 2 front lines. I know we talked about how
instead of the Khan, though, so you go Barrick Khan is what you're saying. Or you still think Fernando...
I think Fernando Barrick is fine for Renegades.
I think they made a mistake here. I expect this to go the way of Envy, but let's see what happens. Moonchopper on the Vivian, that is honestly it's a question mark. She could either overperform, and she is going the record here with the Sapper rounds. I would assume this is the loadout that I was seeing earlier this week. We could take a look at Vivian and Moonchopper style. And heal for 25% damage delta shields. Yep, runic ammunition.
And so it begins.
Which makes you, wonder. Would have been some great champions there. And maybe just thinking, we leave the Ashe. We get not only the Barrick, but we leave them with an Ashe force. And a lot of people are running Ashe, maybe Fortress Breaker in North America, thinking that's going to help get this Vivian off a little more. Already, Rock Monkey having trouble, but he's going to make it out alive, and that's a problem.
Meanwhile, Ashe has just been out on the objective. No contest coming out from the Renegades, but they know Rock is there, and just that presence is enough. You can see Moonchopper every couple seconds. He's got to try and check this corner, make sure. Now he's got to worry about Rubu. Now he's got to worry about Rock. He's constantly looking at this door, that door, this door, that door. And he can't be effective anywhere else.
Oh my god. Viral godlike stun there to avoid getting taken down by Tolkien and to take the cooldown as well. It's not Fortress Breaker. It should be the Slug. Actually, it could be a Shoulder Bash here.
Yeah, that's not a Fortress Breaker. So
yeah.
That's for damn sure.
Wow, that was an interesting animation as well. 99% for Team Envy.
That's very cartoonish.
Tolkien here and ready to go with Wile E. Coyote, right?
Yeah.
I used to watch those Saturday morning, and right now the only thing I'm watching is Renegades get the floor wiped with them. Everyone's still alive. Furia, Khan, Ash running the point. Rock Monkey distracting like an Andro should do, getting to the high ground, staying safe. All good so far for Envy.
It feels like Furia really just, she allows a lot of people to be opened up to be point frontliners, and today that's been Ash. I've seen a lot of her, even in the PGS.
Oh, yeah.
She was run to great effect on the point with Fortress Breaker, though. That's the difference. They haven't picked up Fortress Breaker here for Team Envy, so maybe a little bit of pressure, especially given the way that this Vivian has built. I didn't really see her.
I missed the talent. Can we look at that? It's Battering Ram, I think. I think it's Battering. If we could take a look at the talent screen real quick just to see what Ash... No, it is Slug Shot. It's so interesting. It looked like it had some spread on that.
A sluggy boy.
Yeah, but it doesn't. Maybe he's just hitting so close. And it did. This skin does have some effects with the Oni fire kind of style that might have been throwing us off there because we both did not see that talent. So, Slug Shot it is. Tolkien on the Ash looking... I mean, this is looking flawless. This hasn't slowed down.
Chunking their way all the way home. Hero, he's here to contest. But look at how splintered they are.
Oh my goodness.
What's the support doing all the way over there?
Knockback. Oh, I like it. I like that. Gets the damage, or he forces the dash off the shoulder bash, then you have an easy kinetic burst. Smart play from Tolkien. He's always smart with these champions, huh? My off-tank master, kind of. I really love Tolkien. ClickU's right there with me, too, but Tolkien, man, comes to the Ash, it comes to this Terminus, it comes to these things that people... You kind of got to have them in your back pocket. You don't just, oh, okay, I'm going to play Terminus now and I'm going to be really good. Man, he's fantastic at min-maxing them.
I mean, it certainly helps when you have so much emphasis on frontline bans for the majority of these PPL games. Being able to be effective with the B team, so to speak, is really, really
sub.
An asset to Envy.
It's your bench points, man. It's your bench points in basketball. It's, oh, God. That was my first basketball reference of the PPL this season, by the way.
I got it, yeah.
I'm learning. I'm getting better. Also, we're not in season, so spring and summer.
That's where you got to worry about.
Definitely summer. Expect some Los Angeles and LeBron James discussions during the PPL. That will be a fun time.
It will be.
Let's hope they make it. Let's hope they make it.
I've got faith.
I've got faith. Right now,
9 years in a row, and if the Lakers organization stops my man from making it to the finals,
don't you dare! Don't you dare blame that on the Lakers. But no, it would totally be the Lakers' fault. At this point, look at this. I mean, we may not have the NBA
Magic
to talk
and
about,
his charming smile,
but we do have the high ground to talk about, and now the low ground. They've taken so much high ground, it's become low ground. They've pushed it all the way back into the vase. Renegades haven't even had a chance. This is what I say when I look at the con and I look at this line. I don't understand it. I know there's rhyme and reason to it, but from a third-party neutral observer, it just looks rough. Like, how are they supposed to win this?
Let's look at damage done here and see, like, is there any glaring issues with these comps? I mean, again, Rock's not really even having to do much damage to take care of business. The Inflame is going to come out here. Random's got some stuff to shoot at, but a lot of people immediately turn and burn. Loki with 2 in the kill feed. Tolkien brings 1, still healthy, but that's changing pretty quickly here, as you can hear Ash screaming in agony. And you hate to hear it. He's boxing out pretty effectively on the objective, but at the end of the day, he will fall down, trapping Loki in the corner.
Wow.
And
he's just punching. Dude,
yep,
that's salty.
The sounds.
Oh my God, Rock. He got 4 out of 5, and all he did was punch him that entire time. That's a little bit of salt. Rock. Some BM. Really? He's
Just
not known for that. He's such a humble little, you know.
Randy, no,
Dude, no, I didn't mean it like
ammo,
that.
dude.
No, I didn't want to reload, man. It was lots of DPS.
Completely viable.
Oh, man. Oh, man, I love it. Rock Monkey up into the air as well. Finds another one. And the Accursed Arm is what he's falling slowly down from the skies. And maybe you know, Envy have jumped up into the skies as far as, you know, how they feel about the Sentinel. A small mistake. And maybe those are the things. Those might be the little things that make a big difference. But all the time ClickU was there, and it feels like half a second. 2 of his team members dies, and one's the other front line, the other's the support, and now is the other damage dealer. Rock Monkey has 3 there, looking for the 4th. Heal midair, Furia, Khan. Yeah, I don't know about giving that up and taking Fernando Barrett first. I don't know.
Con 9th is always a sight to be seen.
I don't know. I don't know.
Throwing
We'll have to wait and
hands.
see. Yeah, I mean, fantastic.
Throwing hands.
Fantastic performance.
6 punches, man.
That's
Punching
crazy.
a Barrack to death. Now that's a message I can give.
Now that's a message I can give behind. I guess with 6 punches, it would be, what, 3,600 damage?
Enough to kill a Kliku.
Enough to kill a Clique. That's a rough one, man. And you look at it, and you maybe, you know, trying to break this down, right? I'm not going to get into why they picked it, but just where it suffered for me. A is sustain. You look at damage taken, and it's Rubu's taken more damage than ClickU. But I'm sure that Rubu has a better KDA. Look at that, 1 and 7. Rubu's taken more damage. He's died 5 less times, and it's because of sustain. Khan has it. It's not a Nara, sure, but in a competitive environment with a Furia, being able to run what is the Cherish, even though it's not the Solar Blessing, I mean, the impact to me is immeasurable, and to being able to just buy some more time for random noob to go. And I think it was Loki, and it was just Moonchopper who just didn't have enough time to make plays, and random noob was like, should I show up for a triple kill now? Rock's like, should I punch him to death now?
Yeah, I mean, how do you not mention Rock Monkey? He's just having some crazy moments there. Jack falls, and that's a deflating loss too. I don't know how much life the Renegades are going to have in this game number 3 after that.
I agree. The only hope, I think, for Renegades is to say that kind of just draft
And
didn't
that was
go
their
our
pick.
way.
Remember, because Frog was Envy's pick.
That's right. It just feels like draft didn't go your way. You maybe anticipate something. Maybe it was a call that you thought was going to work out, but they took something else. Doesn't make sense. They gave up pick for first or second. That's interesting. So they gave up map pick. These are all Envy's picks. They gave up map pick for second position to draft 2. And those 2 that they drafted were the Fernando and the... I'm even more confused.
Sometimes it doesn't get easier.
It gets
The
harder.
deeper you go.
Sometimes you don't want to go down the rabbit hole.
Well,
Alice in Wonderland might have been an exception to the rule. Also, the what we're told is that it could be incorrect. So take that with a grain of salt. Sometimes there is a guy who files the paperwork and gives it to us, and it says yes instead of no. You know,
human error, completely natural.
Human
thing.
error
Not a
exists.
lot of human error happening from Rox Andro. They're going to feed the hot hand here, run it back, and
that sounds too wild as a thing to happen.
what?
No map picks. Like, I won't pick a map
it
at
does-
all
it
just
does
to
feel
take
weird.
second 2, and then that's what it is. It's nothing interesting about it.
Well, we're in loser's pick now, so I assume this is Renegade's map pick at this point.
We would assume.
They lost game 2, so they picked the map for game Trey.
We are told it is Envy's map pick, but we would assume that this should be Renegade's map pick. You will find out, I'm sure, a player is in the chat, maybe at some point, or a coach or something like that to be able to clarify, but at the end of the day, we're just going to go ahead and get into the game. It's Tyra, and it's also the Willow, which is interesting. I like this mix-up. Nick, I do feel like this can contend. I like the Fernando Ruckus, too. It feels like they have some damage.
Right.
And against the Ashe and Barrack, I feel like they might be able to win this front line.
Plenty of shred,
Yeah.
between Ruckus and Tyra. If they get on the same target,
Right.
God bless them. They're not going to be around for very long, so kiss them goodbye unless Andro is able to throw back a massive reversal. Not a whole lot of defensive, like, utility fallback. There might be a Fortress Breaker to try and offset some of that.
Yeah.
But again, when you've got Cherish working, which is not very standard. We've seen more Cherish this set when we have
All PPL.
PPL long, a week and a half of play with Furia being seen in almost every game.
Right.
It's pretty off to see that. Fortress Breaker could be a thing, but again, Slugshot just worked very well for Envy last game. It's hard to fix what's not broken.
Tolki's just a great player, and you got to expect that they're going to have really good performances, Tolki and Rubu, yet again. So you need to be able to turn the tide somewhere. Loki, Moonchopper. Last time on Jaguar Falls, Moonchopper had an incredible defense that became one of those Twitter clips that you probably saw sometime throughout the week online, shared by Paladins Game and Paladins Pro, defending against SK, putting just the dagger in their back. This is where we just were as we transition to the other theme. of the temple ruins in Paladins. We will see the shorter, the smaller version. Unless we'll see...
2, 1.
Okay. Hunting party. It's pretty all standard here.
Let the battle begin.
Calm before the storm. All right, Renegades, show us what you got. Game 3 now. In this best of 5. This might feel very Frog Islish with a lot of people just waiting behind lines of sight. Looks like he sticks to the slug shot.
I like it.
Tolkien trying to play under the statue, above the statue, anywhere he can find some effectiveness. Random noob off the blaster for the first time this set onto the Cassie, which is something he's been successful with in the past. Will be first blooded.
That's good, though. I really like that. I mean, I think this is valuable to just get random noob off of maybe the most comfort pick and maybe put him into like a still very comfortable, maybe an A- style, where it's maybe not where he lives, maybe not his ideal, but still very, very good. He's not going to let you down. Rock has a lot to do, but he certainly did it.
Brother.
He certainly did it, right? He's like, I'm coming to kill you. You know where I am. I'm revealed, but I'm still going to kill you.
Very black and white moment. Just one headshot there. My goodness. The difference it makes in the TTK.
I like this, though. This is smart, Nick. They lose one, and as for they drop back. This is what they did on Frog Isle that I thought was really, really impressive. They are willing to sacrifice one to know that, hey, now we've got the point to our advantage. They have to stand there. We have a man advantage, and we're going to be able to come back as 5 with plenty of time to spare.
Overtime started for the Renegades. Very low HP frontliners for Envy. Gets in, manages to reset the overtime, but Rubu at the end of the day, he's probably a little frustrated with that death. He's feel a little bit like the sacrificial land in the Enflame. Look at how low everyone is. Is Enflame really the ult that's going to save this?
Oh, no. I mean, this is a team that believes so much in Rock Monkey's ability to 1v multiple people that they said, I'm going to inflame you, and let's see if you can just kill all of the Renegades. Can it be Rock Monkey 1, all of Renegades 0? Unfortunately, they weren't even able to get on the point before that experiment failed. But I like the belief.
And again, yeah, we talked about it earlier. Enflame has no defensive or utility. Like, it's just all damage and movement speed. It is very fast charging, though, so...
It's so fast.
I would...
She's at 41% already.
I would sooner fault someone for not using enough ultimates rather than too many.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to support ults.
Yeah, and you know what? Maybe it's just to give them some stabilization, maybe force the pressure from winning the point fight pretty convincingly, and try to make them, oh, let's back off here. Let's not take advantage of what we've accomplished thus far. But click you, Renegades, they're veterans here. Click you on the Ruckus. It's just the danger. Such much more of an even draft as you can tell. The point fight, 99 to 66, just I think is indicative of the fact that these two teams both have threats, and it's really about who plays better.
Everyone's starting to take a death here on the Renegades. They'll be able to go back and spend some of the credits that they've earned by capturing this payload and cement their lead. Very basic skin here for Andrew. Such a cool guy at base.
He is. He is. Oh,
uh-oh. How do you check that? You know, how do you know?
I feel like it's a peripheral thing. And now I think he's got to be dead, right? Unless he's got Abyssal Touch. No, he's dead. And now it's a 5v4. They're not mounted, but they're kind of close to where they need to be. And I think this is going to force Renegades to back up. Look, they're not really contesting here. They do not have the numbers. They don't have the coverage. Nationwide apparently doesn't extend to Jaguar Falls.
Siege Shield creeps its way out of the window. That's a cute fireball there. Catches the back of Rubu's head, puts him down. And a constant 5v4 here for the Renegades. If there was ever a time to seize around and go up 2-0 over Envy, this would probably be it. Tolkien as well, not getting a ton of value out of his last 2 Siege Shields. Pops his ultimate to try and pump the brakes.
Oh, that was unfortunate. Hero really could have maybe just finished off Rock Monkey, especially with the brand. The healing would not have been as impactful. And now with the Inflame again, they're able to clean this one up. Looks like it will be a defense for Envy. They lose the objective, but they hold pretty well. And Rock Monkey with the shenanigans will fall yet again. But overall, not a bad round 1.
Renegades force a ton of ultimates as well. You've got the Scout down, Assert Dominance is down, Inflame is down, and they have everything up. So I don't know how much of an advantage you need at this point, but the Renegades have all the tools they need to go ahead and succeed.
And I think that Team Envy just didn't figure Renegades out. Renegades had them figured out completely. Their fight did not work at all, which is why I think they use ultimates, because I think they want a better go at it to see what's really wrong. Another day, even though you're 2-0 up, you might let the 2-0 go through, save your ult, and then just try to play off comeback mechanic heading into the next round with all of your resources available. They do risk losing this now that they don't have the assert dominance and the inflame.
A lot of DPS headed over to the right-hand side here. Kliku and Loki, if they get on the same target, that's 2,000 plus DPS. You're dead in less than a second if you're Rock Monkey or Random Noob.
Oh, yeah.
If your name starts with an R, you are in danger.
Oh, my God. That was fast. Oh, man. You got to say Tyra helped out, but Kliku really helped out a lot as well. Let's take a look at the damage chart to see where Ruckus is climbing up in this game. Because I think if you do look at the damage and the consistency, the burst is what's happening. He's 10,000 away from Random Noob, but where he's hurting people is just bursting them into the threat zone. And that's where Tyra's 100 mark is not what you want to see on top of you.
Pokebar charges out of the back line there. Rock Monkey finds one, but it's a 1-for-1, 48-30. Still very even in this round. What Envy has done, though, effectively, they've weathered the storm, right? They were down seriously in the ultimate economy. This Hexafire gets a lot more value, frankly, than I thought it would onto Tolki. Cancels it out, sidesteps to try and get the angle on Rubu, but
that was great.
Kliku just looks undecided as to where he wants to go be effective in this fight.
He's going to decide right now. Look at this, just to kill everybody. Beautiful stuff. I like it because he went to not get stunned by the Fire Strike, but it ended up zoning everyone away from Rubu. Now Rubu here has a chance to help zone him away, and it's another Inflame, and Mr. Hayes and the rest of Envy weren't worried about not having that point ultimate to start off with because they knew eventually they'd get there.
Shield goes up here, but not a lot of effective shield shred. Takes him a minute to get through Fernando Shield. 90% for the Renegades, 69 and climbing for Envy. Rock has all his cooldowns available. One more dash, gets himself up on the catwalk. And the hunt begins anew. Random Noob's already gone down beautiful. Assert dominance, bumps his head just to get the animation over with quicker.
But even then, Nick, I mean, she's not... like, Envy are using Inflames, and they're not fully winning the fight at all. Like, they're winning that little small fight, but Renegades are just pulling back. I love the patience and I think the growth that we're witnessing. And Viral has been absolutely on point with Dread Serpent choices and on stuns. The reason Rock Monkey died earlier on is because Viral stunned him in that hallway and set up for bursts from Kliku's missiles. This is Renegades turning up the heat to 11 here in terms of their decisions.
And they make me eat my words. They've got plenty of life left in them. Incredible crescendo to that fight, really. I mean, you got the Snap Dread Serpent, the Gourd, the Snap Mending Spirits as well. Viral looked incredible there. The Immortal at the last possible second for Hero. A lot of critical stuff happening for the Renegades to keep them alive.
And this is a great game for them. It's obviously backs against the walls. They need to win this for sure, and Team Envy know it. Team Envy may be playing a little bit more cautiously than I would. With a 2-0 lead, you have a chance to maybe take some risks. Go comeback mechanic, get that pressure. I mean, if you have comeback mechanic, you've won. You win that point, right? Because you're basically at 99. Another Inflame. I mean, my God, is he running morale boost? He has to be.
I don't know.
I mean, you would think it's a Chronos, but the way, how many he's getting, it might just be a conversation of whenever you have your ultimate, Mr. Hayes, use it. And that's what's going on. Fury gets so much ultimate charge.
Yeah. Big healer, very consistent, low cooldown, easy to hit, literally can't miss with Cherish. And on top of the fact you've got a hit scan weapon as a frontline, you're fighting to charge your ultimate on two fronts. As a result of that, he's already back to 30%. The Fire Strike goes out, perfectly placed, I would say. And Mr. Hayes, you can see just the healing he's pumping out into this squad.
Right.
That one gets cauterized out, but it's very effective, especially on the front line.
13 streak. And now Dread Serpent here. Mr. Hayes backing up. And one of the things about him is that he hasn't died. Kliku wants to change that. He is somehow going to get out. I mean, incredible attempt by Kliku, but an even better evade there. Rock Monkey trying to just dash away. He's got the reversal, and he actually gets caught out.
His dash heal is like barely keeping. It's like Fernando Dot versus like level 3 Abyss Walker. And he just manages to squeak the kill out. Hero falls quickly thereafter. And we're back to square one. Not a lot of ultimates again for Team Envy. The Renegades have almost everything available. Kind of like meh Dread Serpent there from Viral that doesn't get followed up on. It was just too deep, too far out of follow-up range. And now what can Envy do? Can they force out any more ultimates from the Renegades? Can they scare them into thinking, oh, well, you know, we can maybe get this one going?
This is good from Hero. He's forced Tolkki to pay attention to him. This has opened up the left channel for Moonchopper. Oh, but look at Tolkki. He's so smart. He knew exactly what was trying to happen, and now he's trying to capitalize on it. But the problem is he hasn't got a kill yet. They need that final shot, and there's Tolkki. Simply playing so well that despite, yes, the efforts of Envy to defend, it was really about how he managed that left-hand channel that didn't allow them to get overrun.
And here comes right there at the end. Kliku locks it down, double kill. The Immortal comes out to keep everyone alive. Doesn't allow the old Rock Monkey hot hand triple kill to come through. They learned their lesson the hard way that time. No one negative on Envy. I think that's despite kind of like being on the back foot this whole game.
Yeah.
The spray's coming out in force here for the Renegades. They must be feeling good.
I mean, Mr. Hayes hasn't died at all. I mean, that is a problem. If you've got your healer, he has not died. And so Renegades winning these fights, playing tactically, not diving. The one time Kliku did dive, and you could see he's willing to put his body on the line. They're playing with aggressive front lines. He was in search of that Furia.
How long can you keep that up? The negative, usually when a team is negative and winning the game, you know, obviously just being on the offense, it's because of sustain and defensive utilities, just surviving on the objective longer. But as the game goes later and later, I don't know if that can be the case much longer.
Oh, Mr. Hayes just ran into Kliku here. I don't know. Can Kliku survive? Wow, the Inflame was enough.
Maybe Kliku ran into Mr. Hayes.
Yeah, maybe that was it. Oh, but now they're running into Loki. Ooh. Mr. Hayes on a 20 streak still finds the kill. I mean, that was wonderful from him. Didn't hesitate at all.
Critical heals, good damage as well.
What a performance.
Where's he sitting at the damage charts? You know, we've seen a couple of games from some Furias here and there. And he is beating Tyra.
Oh, that's not good.
No. Certainly not. Certainly not.
That's not what you want.
Yeah. Would you say you hate to see it?
You would say you hate to see it, but again, if they were bringing out the Tyra for the amount of damage only she can do, I'd say okay. But it's the hunting party. They are looking for the damage across the board onto these targets.
True.
But it doesn't mean that Envy didn't just clean sweep that, and a lot of it was based on just the simple decision of Mr. Hayes to inflame at that point, and hasn't that been the story?
An inflame that hits 5 people when they're ready to fight.
And I mean, hasn't that been the story, right? Inflame. It's going to be a quadra kill on Barrack. Not quite. Random Noob had to steal the show.
Because he hasn't gotten a quadra kill yet.
That's right. You can't let Rubu get one.
No.
Only one member with a name that starts with the letter R can get a quadra kill per team. So you have to be very careful about who you give it to.
Very humble guy, Rock Monkey, but you can tell subtly trying to be the star of the show.
That's right. I mean, at this point, Rock Monkey, Rubu, Random Noob, like there's 2 people going home without a trophy.
Non-toxic season 1, Rock Monkey would have let him have it.
So this is I'm a great player. Toxic season 2, Rock Monkey.
Toxic Rock. This is ego Rock.
What a toxic Rock, though.
Yep.
At least he hits his shots.
Another pure soul. If he didn't have his fiber connection, though.
Yeah.
Freaking host, kid.
At least he hits his shots, kid. It's more than you can say. At least he hits his shots, kid. I'll take a toxic kid who hits his shots any day.
And the cycle continues.
The cycle continues, dude. All it takes is hitting some shots. Unbelievable.
Loki here trying to beat the supports and damage from the backline, marking it up.
Oh, nice.
I think the bell is about ready to toll here. Or not.
That is it. Well, I would have said that this looked like a little bit more of an underdog getting put in his place. Renegades, we knew that Envy were probably more likely to win the set, but we didn't know it was going to be that dramatic.
Yeah, some dominant moments for Renegades there. But like we were talking about, they were all negative, and you can only do that for so long, right? You know, G2 managed to pull it off, I think you mentioned in that SK set last week, where they have this incredible slash lines but end up losing the game.
Yep.
Envy, they turn it around, right? They take their lumps early on in the set rather than later. Mr. Hayes, I think, a huge part of that victory on the Furia. Great damage, great healing, and an insane streak. Only 1 death to his name the whole time.
So it's interesting because in many ways I felt like they didn't give an inch when they could have, and it was a decision. This team is just on the same page, and I like it. Again, bad plans executed well. better than a good plan, executed poorly. They decided we're not giving up any of these pushes. We're not going combat mechanic here. We're tying everything if we can. They lose 2-point fights in a row, but eventually they get the third, and things end up working out. That's just, I think, the tactical knowledge, the tactical presence that we see Envy and their coach and their just organization have in the PPL.
Very excited for the next set, though. I think it's going to be a really good one between Splice and SK. We've had a lot of battles for the bottoms today through the PGS and now in the PPL as well. This is going to be a big game, very important win for either of these teams.
Can't wait to see it, so don't go anywhere if you can't either. We'll be right back after this break with our last PPL matchup of North America today, Splice and SK.